These are my favorite tobacco fragrances. Hi guys, I'm Thiago, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm bringing you, upon popular demand, my favorite tobacco fragrances. Fragrances with a prominent note of tobacco. And this will be filmed in two parts in two different countries, because right now I'm in Portugal, I'm on my parents' house, I have part of my collection here, and the majority of my tobacco fragrances are actually at Belgium, at my place in Belgium. So I have a few here that I will record here in Portugal, and the rest I will record back in Belgium. So let's get into them. Now the first one has been in my collection for years, pretty much from the start of my journey, and it's still one of my favorite tobacco fragrances and one of my favorite fragrances just because I love it so much. I have so many memories with it. Yeah, I just love it, and the infamous sound of Spicebomb Extreme. I just love it. I fell in love with it from the first time I smelled it. At the time I had Spicebomb Eau de Toilette, the original, and I smelled this in Sephora days after buying the original Spicebomb, and I was like, damn it, I should have waited. Because I do love the original, okay? I don't have it anymore because, well, it's been more than 4 years. But I love this. The vanilla in this, for a designer, it's incredible. The spices, for a designer, incredible. It has a bit of cumin that some people stray away from. I love it. A lot of pepper and a lot of cinnamon. The vanilla is very rich. It has a bit of a sparkle, effervescence, freshness up top. But this is a dense, sweet fragrance. This is not a fresh fragrance at all. It settles rapidly into a dense, sweet fragrance with tobacco. And the tobacco here is more on the sweet pipe tobacco, like in the style of tobacco vanille, for example, but it's not the same. And it's just a smell that I love. I absolutely love this. I keep it here in Portugal and I don't take it to Belgium with me because I don't think a bottle like this would travel well on a plane. I don't think it would go past security. Maybe it would. They know this exists, so it should be safe, but I'd rather not risk it. But yeah, this is incredible. Incredible. Well, for the frag head, it might be very basic, just like a couple of others in here, but I love it and I'm not apologizing for it because it's one of my favorites. Spicebomb Extreme. Next one is also one that I've loved since almost the beginning of my journey. It's very hyped, but this is my favorite from the brand, a brand that I don't have much love for, even though I love Leighton, which is hyped to death, but it's a personal scent to me. It's a fragrance that I have a very strong connection to. So from Parfum Marly, of course, it is Herod. And Herod is one of the best vanilla fragrances. And I know we're talking about tobacco fragrances, and the tobacco here is very nice, very well blended, in my opinion. I know that's not the case for the majority of Parfum Marlys, but this is my favorite from them, and I just love it because the combination of this skin-like, suede, peachy, apricot-like osmanthus with the spices that come across soft. There's cinnamon, there's black pepper, and the black pepper connects very well with the incense in the heart. Because black pepper sometimes can have incensey nuances, and incense can have black pepper-like nuances as well, which is very interesting. And here they connect perfectly. The incense in the heart is what makes this fragrance not too warm, not too sweet, as well as the osmanthus that can have this slightly earthy, tea-like, suede-like peach impression that I love. I love osmanthus. And this very smooth vanilla. It's a vanilla suede-like scent with soft spices and a sweet tobacco. When this came out, it got very much compared to Tobacco Vanille, but I don't get similarities. They're in a similar style of scent, of course, but I just love this, and I overspray this like crazy. when overspraying for me is not that much. I'm not one of those people that just spray like 35 sprays in each arm and go out. No, I usually spray like 3, 4, 5 times. That's tops. That's my usual routine, let's say. But with Herod, I do more than 5 usually, and because I just love how it feels. And yeah, it's just a scent that I love, and I think I will always have, because I just love it, and it's Herod. Now this one, I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I ended up liking it. I absolutely adore it for some reason. It's very well done in my opinion, and it's a different take on a tobacco. It's Manhattan from Roja, and this is a sparkly, piney, sweet but airy tobacco. For some reason it just feels very light, but it has density. It has the labdanum, the pine resins, the incense and vetiver, and it on skin it changes a lot. It has some coconutty nuances, which, where does that come from? But it fits perfectly. It changes a lot, like it opens up kind of piney coconut-like with a bit of tobacco right up top. There's a honey-like sweetness. I wouldn't say vanilla, it doesn't feel very dense. There's a suede touch and pine and vetiver, so it develops more woody and in a very light way, but it just lingers around me, and I just love the way it behaves. It feels light, but it's a tobacco. I love it. I really do love it. And this was sent to me by the brand like more than a year ago. I don't know when this came out. This is the second version of it. It was released first as a different bottling, I think. And then it was re-released, because it was released first and as a limited edition and more expensive. And then it was re-released less expensive in this version. Don't know why, but I love it. It's Manhattan from Roja. Now this next one was my favorite discovery last year at Extrême, not this year, last year. And then I ended up buying a bottle because I just loved it that much. And it's Un Air d'Apogée from Violet. This is such an elegant tobacco. Very expansive. It's a very big fragrance, but in a very elegant way. It's very refined, but it calls for attention in a not obnoxious way. It's very airy as well. It has an herbal touch, a bit of sage, a bit of hay. There's this soft powdery aspect. Maybe it has a bit of iris, I'm not sure. They love iris at Violet. And the hay-like tobacco with a bit of honey-like sweetness and a suede backbone. It feels very smooth, very unique, and very elegant. Just super well blended, super well composed, and absolutely love this. Yeah, it's special. Now this next one was a limited release, so I'm sorry for those of you who haven't experienced it and won't have a chance unless you buy a decant from someone. But it was intended as a gift to the brand's friends and partners as very limited units. And it's from Francesca Bianchi, and it is Sticky Lips. This is such a special composition, really. This was, of course, sent to me as it was created from the brand as a present for friends and, I don't know, close connections of the brand, which I'm very honored to be part of. They ended up selling the remaining units and reverting some of the profits, or all of the profits, I'm not sure, to charity. Don't quote me on that, but I think that was the case. So Sticky Lips is essentially, if you know Sticky Fingers, with a chocolatey, powdery patchouli, but this one doesn't have the rough edges that Sticky Fingers has. It's a softer patchouli, and it's softened by violet and iris and a bit of beeswax that just gives it this soft, slightly animalic, waxy, along with the violet, waxy, sweet honeyed feel, with rose, violet, iris, patchouli, and tobacco. And the tobacco here is drier, hay-like, and slightly sweet. It's so good. It's a shame that it isn't a full release for everyone, but I mean, Sticky Fingers is a fantastic patchouli, chocolatey patchouli with tobacco as well, so just check that one out, but this one is just special stuff. I wish it was a full release. Sticky Lips. Now, you will probably see the rest of this video directly from Belgium, so see you soon. I'm back in Belgium. I have here the rest of my collection with a lot of other tobacco fragrances, and we have a lot to go through, so let's keep going. Let's start with the one that has been on my collection the longest, and it is Nishane Fanya Flames. This is a very dense, hugely powerful, very sweet, tonka bean heavy tobacco. The tobacco is here, and how I perceive this scent is pretty much like a old cedar cigar box that was filled with an aged rum, almost a spiced aged rum, with little bits of toasted coconut just scattered around. That's how I perceived it. So it is a fun fragrance. It is a very playful fragrance. Some people say it's mature. I don't think so. It's very powerful. I cannot use this very often because it's sometimes it can be a bit much, like many of the Nishane fragrances. I do like it. I like the fun rum, boozy tobacco with the roasted coconut. I do like it. It's, in terms of scent profile, it's one of my favorite scent profiles, boozy tobacco. But it can be a bit much. So yeah, Fanya Flames by Nishane. Not one of the first niche fragrances I've tried. Well, it was pretty much in the same week back in the day as Fanya Flames, but I only bought it a couple of months ago, so I'm very happy to finally have it, and I've been enjoying it a lot. And it is Hors du Sérail by Naomi Goodsir. And this is a grandiose opening à la Bertrand de Chafour, and it is every fruit. It's orange, it's apple, it's red berries, it's mango, it's coconut. It's a very bright, happy, juicy opening, grand opening, with a lot of rum as well, like a spiced rum once again. Despite it having coconut and rum, it doesn't smell like Fanya Flames. It's very different. But yeah, it's a lot of fruits in the opening, but it's like a wall of fragrance. It's huge as well, but in a more manageable way to me. And it's a very unique scent to me. I've seen people compare this to Herod and Tobacco Vanille. I don't agree at all. It's a very unique scent to my nose, because the dry down, it almost settles into this hay-like tobacco with tea. It smells like chamomile tea to me in the dry down, which is a bit odd, but I don't know, that's just how it smells in the dry down. But the honeyed sweetness runs throughout the fragrance, since the opening up to the dry down. In the dry down, I do get more of a powdery, waxy beeswax note instead of a honey, but the honey runs throughout. So it is a vegetal, hay-like tobacco to my nose. And I absolutely love this. This is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. And you will hear me say this a lot, because these are fragrances in my collection, so they better be some of my favorite fragrances, otherwise they wouldn't be in my collection, right? So yeah, Hors du Sérail by Naomi Goodsir. And keeping into the Naomi Goodsir brand, and I could mention pretty much all of her collection, because I think at least most of them have tobacco as a note. But in this one, I do get a present note of tobacco, even though this is right now my favorite Iris fragrance, and it is Iris Cendré by Naomi Goodsir. This is a starchy, papery iris, very ashy as well, with a lot of violet. The violet here is very present, and it is very dry and papery, and the tobacco just helps with that character. It's a very dry tobacco. There's little to no sweetness here to my nose. It does settle into a more ambery base, but the amber is is not a vanillic amber, is not a very resinous amber. It's just a powdery amber, if you know what I mean. And it's not the main character of the fragrance. It is a powdery, papery, starchy iris, earthy and rooty and just papery and very dry with a lot of violet. There's a bit of spice and there's a bit of cold incense in the heart that just, it all plays along so well. This is not a joyful fragrance. This is a very introspective fragrance, and I absolutely love it. So, Iris Cendré by Naomi Goodsir. Now let's start with Amouages, because there are 3. And the first one is Memoir Man. And Memoir Man is, again, talking about introspective fragrances. Like I said before with Naomi Goodsir, Iris Cendré, this is an introspective fragrance to me. This smells like almost an enchanted forest with some sort of lost temple in the middle of the woods. It smells dark, yet has some sort of dark green brightness. I don't know how to explain this, but it is coniferous, it is dark green. It smells of dark green leaf woods. It's very piney to my nose. There's this very vibrant note of absinthe up top. So it has that anisic qualities of the absinthe, and it is brilliant. It just smells so meditative to me. It really smells like an abandoned temple in the middle of the woods. That's how it smells. It's damp, it's woody, it's earthy. And that absinthe just brightens it up top. And the tobacco here is also, again, vegetal and dry to my nose. It's also a fragrance that doesn't have a lot of sweetness. And I'm appreciating scents like this a lot. This was the Amouage that I was craving, and I didn't know I was craving it, because I was missing a scent like this in my collection. And I'm so glad I have it. It's brilliant. It's amazing, really. This, I have no more words for it. It's Amouage Memoir Man. Going to another Amouage, and this is my favorite tobacco Amouage. My favorite Amouage that uses the note of tobacco, and it is Journey Man. And it also is one of my favorite Amouage fragrances, actually. I just love how it comes across. I'm like, this is just brilliant. This unifies 2 very different styles of perfumers, I would say. Pierre Negrin and Alberto Morillas. And Alberto Morillas does a lot of freshies. Of course, he has done some denser, spicier, darker fragrances, like Bulgari Man in Black, for example. But he usually does the freshies, you know? He's the king of the freshies, let's say. The commercial ones, at least. And even his brand is also centered around easy to wear freshies and, you know, mise en cire. And Pierre Negrin has some fragrances that are a bit darker, more centered, with notes like castoreum and cypriol, and, you know, so this fragrance just is full of contrasts. It's full of life. It's vibrant. Yeah, it's fiery. The opening is really a burning opening. It's a fiery opening with this brilliant Sichuan pepper note, which is really a burning, red-hot pepper, which on my skin has both has both temperatures, let's say. It's hot and cold for some reason, but it's almost like it sparkles on the skin. It crackles on the skin. It's so vibrant with all the spices. It's cardamom and Sichuan pepper and black pepper and pink pepper, and it's so nose-tinglingly spicy. It's brilliant. And then there's the tobacco note that just connects everything. It's like the heart of the fragrance. It's a contrast as well. It's like a warm tobacco at times that connects with the tonka bean that can have almondy and tobacco-ish and vanillic aspects to it, because it also has tonka bean in the base. but it's also a cold tobacco that connects with the piney, lemony, incense cold heart of the frankincense that Amouage uses a lot. It's all here and it's brilliant, and it's also very oily in the base with the castoreum and a little bit of ambroxan, and here's the Alberto Morias working. But the ambroxan here actually works fantastically. It's a fragrance full of character, really. To me, it's really one of my favorite Amouages. It's up there. It might be in my top 3 Amouage fragrances. I don't know why, I just love this so much. It's a fantastic fragrance and one of the most beautiful bottles as well. I mean, wow. I love it. Amouage Journey Man. Now this one is a very recent addition to the collection, so I cannot speak so much about it, but I just added it, and it's tobacco is in the name, so Royal Tobacco is a huge fragrance. This is one of the biggest fragrances in my collection right now, and I have a lot of very potent fragrances, even though I prefer subtle and more nuanced fragrance and scent profiles usually, but I happen to love a lot of big fragrances. But well, this is one of the hugest fragrances. I mean, this is, it's breathtaking, quite literally breathtaking. It is so dense and so dry, scorchingly dry. I almost get thirsty from smelling this. It's hot, really, it's hot and dry. There's a huge labdanum note. It's very sticky in the heart. So the base, the heart connects to a more ambery vanillic base, but until you get there, it is a journey. Like, it's so resinous up top, and it's a licorice bomb. It's a licorice like I've never smelled in any other fragrance. There's also this very dense and dry and powdery cacao, but it's really a dark cacao. Doesn't smell like chocolate at all, at all. This is not a gourmand by any means. And there are also some lighter aspects, some piney, more herbal aspects to it in the opening. There's a bit of ALMA and a lot of spices as well. But this is meant to represent a cigar box and also the whole lighting up a cigar and smoking a cigar. So it is all of that. It smells, it has the smoke, it has the ashiness. It's so complex, it has so much going on. I need to experience this one more. It's a recent acquisition. I had smelled it before, but I just got it, so I need to experience it more. But this is one of the best in the Renaud Salmon era of Amouage, to me. And it is Royal Tobacco. That finishes up my Amouage trio for the tobacco. And the next one is actually one of my grail fragrances, one that I wanted for years. I never thought I could afford it, but I could, with your help, of course. Use my code on Beauty Now, which is a fragrance discounter based on the Netherlands. They ship worldwide, if I'm not mistaken, but you have to, check their shipping page and all that. But I've been using them a lot, and very much thanks to you guys, because I get a small commission every time you make a purchase, but it adds up, and I can make new additions to the collection that I wouldn't do any other way, because this next one is very expensive, but I absolutely love it, and I've wanted it for years. And it is Roja Enigma. This is the Parfum, of course, and it's, of course, the very famous fizzy cognac and cola vibe in the opening. It's totally there. And it also has a beautiful tobacco, and the tobacco here is more of a sweet tobacco. I would say even a variety of tobacco that's a bit floral, and it is a sweet tobacco, okay? So this fragrance is sweet all the way through, but it's not a sweetness that's annoying like many of the attention grabber panty droppers of nowadays, which I can't stand that phrase, but it's none of that. It's a blend like I've never smelled before. It's that cognac and cola in the opening. It's mesmerizing, it's intoxicating, and all of that good stuff. But the heart is absolutely captivating to me. It's an almondy, slightly vanillic. You know how Guerlain does the vanilla accord that almost smells almondy and very rich and decadent and luxurious. There's a bit of that trick here with the heliotrope. There's a bit of jasmine as well, which also feels a bit jammy to me here. And it smells like a gentleman's lounge almost. It smells a bit leathery and all of the booze and tobacco in the air, but in a sweet and very approachable way. This is a fragrance that I adore. I treasure this fragrance a lot. I don't wear it very often. I haven't purchased it a long time ago. I got this, I don't know, 3 months ago or something like that. And it's now summer, so I don't wear this that often yet. But it's a fragrance that I wear to special occasions and to create special memories with. This is a special fragrance to me, Roja Enigma Parfum. Now, this is the fragrance I got on my birthday this year. One of them, the other is coming up. But this one I bought for me this year as a birthday gift to myself. And it's also one that I've wanted for a long time. I've smelt it for the first time in Budapest and I fell in love with it because it's just right up my alley. And it is Vanille Havane from Les Indémodables. And the quality of Les Indémodables is just, it's breathtaking. It's a quality of ingredients that's just, it's something to praise, really. The care they have for the sourcing of the ingredients and for the extraction they make, which is an ultrasound extraction of the ingredients, just brings so much more to the table, just brings a different level of depth and complexity of the ingredients that other extractions don't do. So this is probably the best cacao note I've smelled, on par of something like Russian Oud by Arish Doré or Lao Oud by Bortnikoff. I can go on, but this is probably my favorite cacao note. And MXXX from Eris is also brilliant, has a brilliant cacao note. Well, I can go on, but this is one of my favorite cacao notes. It's bitter, it's dark, it's very nuanced as well. It's almost like a super high quality, luxurious cacao chocolate liqueur up top. It smells like a chocolate liqueur because it also has a rum accord, if I'm not mistaken, or some sort of booze accord, but I think it's rum, like a spiced rum again, with chocolate. So it creates this chocolatey liqueur note, which is beautiful. And the heart, there's this almost jammy jasmine that some people perceive as a banana note. I'm glad I don't, because I hate banana. But yeah, this jammy jasmine in the heart just brings another level of complexity and depth, and just connects fantastically with this leathery base. It does have a leathery base, which is also contrasted yet helped by a slightly leathery vanilla. The vanilla here is so rich and dark. It's not that ice cream cupcakey vanilla at all. It's a proper vanilla. It's a vanilla bean of the highest caliber. It smells dark and leathery and vegetal and all the good stuff that comes out of the vanilla. It's sometimes bitter and sometimes chocolatey. It's fantastic. And the tobacco here, it's also sweet and nuanced and smells almost like a cigar box as well. This is a brilliant perfume. It's Vanille Havane from Les Indémodables. This next one is also Grail material, really. It's one of the best fragrances I've put my nose on. It's one of my favorite smells that I've tried, really. Again, very lucky to be able to buy this with your help. Again, with you using my code on Beauty Now, I was able to buy this and many others that you saw here. that was with your help. And this is Bortnikoff Oud Monarch. And I've bought a sample first and I fell in love instantly. I mean, it really is beautiful, and it is probably one of the easiest entries into the world of Bortnikoff, because they have some challenging scents that some people might not like in the first impression of the brand. But Oud Monarch, I think, is very friendly. It's a very posh, very elegant, and just a beautiful fragrance. It's one of the most beautiful uses of florals that I've tried, that I've smelled. I'm lost for words every time I smell this, and it's one of the easiest introductions to Bortnikoff. So I know there are better stuff. I have some samples in that drawer there. I have Lau Oud and Oud Maximus and Amber Cologne. I forgot what else, but yeah, I'm getting into Bortnikoff a bit more, and I'm glad I did, because, well, the magnolia here, it's slightly citrusy and gently floral and very clean, and it's very well accompanied with the Frangipani, which is this tropical smelling floral. It almost smells fruity. It smells almost of tropical fruits, but in a gentle way, in a floral gentle way. It's not an obnoxious floral. It's very elegant. There's a hint of rose, but it's not a very present rose. It's not a full red rose, nothing like that. It's a supporting rose with the rest of the florals. And this beautiful cacao note again. It's powdery, it's gentle, beautiful cacao note here with the florals. And there's this also slightly floral tobacco in the background, slightly sweet tobacco as well. And the oud is very manageable for most people, I would say. It's very easy to get along with. It's slightly spicy, slightly resinous. It's just a gentle, elegant fragrance that I think would fit a special occasion like a wedding, or I don't know. This is just a special scent to me. I don't know why, it just smells special, and I absolutely love it. Oh, and the cardamom up top, I almost forgot, but Bortnikoff uses cardamom like no other. Amouage also uses beautiful cardamom, but I think Bortnikoff is my favorite use of cardamom, and this is no exception. It's beautiful. Oud Monarch by Bortnikoff. The next two, one of them you're not able to find because I made my own fragrance at OPAR. I was in Lisbon. I was invited to go to OPAR, which is in Lisbon, again, in Portugal. And it's basically like a boutique atelier, a lab where you go to create your own scent. They have a lot of fantastic materials. You have full creative freedom for creating your own scent. So I had something in mind that I wanted to create, but I ended up going with something a little bit different. But I absolutely love it. So I was going to create a scent with a different name, but it ended up being ALMA. And this is the scent I created. And this coloring, by the way, is natural. There were no colorants added to this. They don't do that there. And this is a resinous bomb. This is very complex. This is a soup of a fragrance, really. I think it's a bit of a mess, but a mess that I love. It has everything that I love in a fragrance and more. So it opens up with this almost almond liqueur type of accord. It has green bitter almonds and slightly sweeter toasted almonds, which I love almonds. I come from the south of Portugal, and almonds there are very traditional, and we do a lot of desserts and a lot of dishes with almonds because there are a lot of almonds. So I love almonds. Let's establish that. So there's this almondy liqueur up top with the two types of almond accords. There's also this buttery iris. It really is buttery and earthy, and a bit of violet as well, which gives it almost a jammy sometimes papery nuance. That violet accord that they have has a bit of both. It's vegetal and papery, and fits fantastically. Just gives it a bit more interest as well. There's a beautiful cardamom up top because I just love cardamom. I had to put it in here. And there's the tobacco, and they have two types of tobacco, and I couldn't leave any of them out. One is this more vegetal, hay-like tobacco, and the other is a bit sweeter and gentler and more floral. So I had to go with both because I love tobacco again. And this color is mainly due to the huge amount, I mean huge amount of labdanum that went into this. Like, it's the pretty much the maximum amount of labdanum that they are able to put in this. And it's a labdanum bomb, very thick and sticky and resinous. And I love labdanum because, again, south of Portugal, very hot weather. Labdanum really propagates there like nothing else. It's a bit of a plague, really. But I love labdanum, and this has a lot of it. And cade oil, which we kept it at a minimum, and it still smells like a bit of a barbecue sometimes. There is a strong smoky nuance to this, but it comes and goes. And there's also a very strong woody backbone to it. So there's three types of wood, very commonly used in fragrances. There's gaiac wood, cedar wood, and sandalwood. Again, they had several types of sandalwood. I chose the closest thing I could smell to Mysore, which is almost rosy, almost floral, slightly spicy, and slightly creamy, slightly dry. So I chose that. And cedarwood, of course, which is a bit more zingy and slightly more dense here. And the gaiac wood, which is this sweet, slightly smoky wood that I love. And yeah, this is it, my soup, ALMA. I absolutely love it. It's from OPAR, and the experience was a gift. They invited me. It was on my birthday as well. So very happy how it came out, and I will come back to do more fragrances by my own. I won't be getting any more invites. I will be going on my own and paying it for myself because I just loved it. It was an amazing experience, and I will for sure come back because I have a lot of ideas. By the way, this is not going to be for sale at all. That's not the point of this experience. It's the only bottle. I wish you guys could try it, but it's the only bottle. So yeah, ALMA, which means soul in Portuguese. This last one is a sample, but it's a scent that I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite tobacco fragrances, and I only have a sample, but I will have a bottle eventually, so I am including it anyway, which is Une Nuit à Doha by Stéphane Humbert. I think this is so underrated. This is one of the best immortelle notes that I've tried. It's not curry-like, it's a sweeter immortelle. You know how sometimes immortelle can have like a dessert-like smell to it? It almost smells to me like a sweet rice pudding with cinnamon at times. I think there might be cinnamon here. If there's not, then well, I'm wrong, I don't know, but I get a cinnamon-like smell along with this decadent immortelle note that almost smells like maple syrup. Sometimes people do describe it like that, and I do get it here. And the tobacco here is beautiful. It has multiple facets, I would say. It's vegetal, it's dry, and it is sweet. And there's a beautiful osmanthus note as well, which has that stone fruit peach-like, suede-like note to it. It's a very particular note. It can be a bit earthy as well, like a earthy floral suede-like tea to my nose, which I love. Is a note that I absolutely love. And yeah, this comes across as a peachy, densely spiced, maple syrupy suede tobacco. That's how it comes across to me, and I absolutely love this. Nuit à Doha from Stéphane Humbert. Now, I was already chilling on my sofa editing the video and I realized I forgot to bring one of my favorite fragrances from the beginning of my journey to the table. And it is Xerjoff Naxos. I bet some of you were already asking where's Naxos, because I know many people love this and I do too. And I know many people despise this. But I love it, and as you can see, mine is an older bottle. My juice is pretty dark right now. It was dark to begin with, but not this dark. It has aged. So Naxos is a very bright tobacco scent to me. It's also very sweet, has a lot of honey. And that's the point that some people don't like, and it's also the point that some people love. So Naxos opens up in a very bright way to me. There's a lot of lemon and bergamot up top, so it's a very bright and sparkly opening with a lot of citruses, and this very smooth and bright lavender as well. It's a sharper lavender, but it's also like a sweet, kind of smooth lavender. I would say, if I had to bet on it, that it's a Spanish lavender. I can be wrong, of course, I'm no expert, but usually Spanish lavender does have a sweeter character. And I learned to wear it in the summer with my girlfriend, because she wore this one time to the beach and it was smelling amazing. And I was like, did you put on Naxos to go to the beach? And she said, yeah, it smells great. So yeah, I wear this year round. It could be a signature as well, because I just love it. I know many people don't. They say it's very synthetic and sharp. Yes, there's a lot of cashmere in the base, which can smell, it's meant to pass a vibe of a smooth cashmere sweater. It's also fuzzy and softly woody. But yeah, I do get the cashmere, but it's not a problem for me. I actually like cashmere. Up top, again, very bright, a lot of citruses, lavender, and then the honey sweetness runs through the fragrance. There's also a bit of spiciness from cinnamon, and the tobacco is slightly dry, but mostly sweet, I would say. And there's a bit of vanilla as well, so honey and vanilla. So it is a sweet fragrance, but it acts brightly, and on my skin at least, and my bottle. So yeah, I love Naxos. It was one of my first niche fragrances, of course, as many people for sure, and I still love it to this day. Xerjoff Naxos. That does it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I know there were a lot of fragrances. This will be a pain to edit, but I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed these fragrances. Have you tried any of them? Let me know what are your favorite tobacco fragrances. These are mine for now. So I hope to see you in the next one, and let's talk in the comments. Bye, guys.